Alrighty, so this is Diesel We the People News. So, before I forget, check out my previous videos, which couple of them, all right. Uh, One is end immunity. You want to watch that video, write the stuff down there showing on the idiot box or your phone, however you want to look at that. You want to write these things down to call them out on their crap, okay? And just so you know, they've been going by statutes that has 16 words missing, uh, which the judges have all been going by, the missing words, but Congress, the law, in writing, there's 16 extra words that basically says, wait a minute, whoa, 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 whoa. Hang on here there, big fella. Uh, you don't have immunity. Only the judges do. Well, since there's magistrates, sorry. Uh, no immunity. Officers, no immunity. All right, because the missed 16 words, uh, they presume officers have immunity. All right, and then you got the one with man telling judge he's breaking the law. Okay, which he says it right on public TV and YouTube. He called him out. You're a tyrant. Okay. The Constitution says 12 members of jury, not 6. And the judge or magistrate is calling for 6. So the man called him out on it and says, you're a tyrant. All right. Uh, Not really so much a tyrant, but he called him a. My mind went blank. What is it called? Treason. Called the judge. He's operating in treason, denying his due process with the 12 members of the jury, not 6. Okay? So then you got the one with Wendy Kelton, one I speak of earlier in a couple of videos back. Judges, because Randy Kelton is in the process of suing all the appeal judges for gang activity by what? Breaking state law in the criminal codes. All right, let's again, I'm not an attorney, I'm not giving legal advice, so please do not take it as such. Some of these things are my opinion only. Okay, it's educational purposes. Do your own research. I do not know everything. All right, let's go ahead and proceed forward and finish this off.
A cop is not one of them, and neither is the city attorney. City attorney's nobody. If somebody sues the city, he can go in there and dance around and do his shenanigans in there and try to defend the city. Or if the city wants to sue somebody else, he can go in there and argue about the case. But he is nowhere in law is he authorized. The city attorney is not authorized to bring a case against you. Not on behalf of the city and not on behalf of the state. If you want to do a criminal case, 50 states, or are we talking just 10? I've never seen anywhere where it is authorized. I guess it's possible that there's somewhere that allows it, but no. Yeah, I guess that you go back to look at your local rules and figure out what does due process look like. But I can't see that that would be. It's possible for the legislature of any given state to say, this is how we want due process to work out, and they could specifically authorize a city attorney to represent the state. I doubt that they would. These city attorneys are such punks. But the fact remains that only an authorized individual can bring a case against you, a criminal case, and a cop is not one of those. In any given county, you're probably only looking at 2 people, maybe 3, who could do that. And it's not any of the peace officers. Sheriff, deputy, doesn't matter. They can't do that. They can't represent the state. I don't feel like that's so, led to believe. Right. Well, we've also been led to believe that if they get all upset with you and you're not nice enough to them, then they get to put the cuffs on you and drag you off and put you behind bars. Where did that idea come from? That's ridiculous.
our overlords?
They have two situations they can arrest: with warrant, without a warrant. If it's without a warrant, it better be an on-site offense that he sees that you committed some kind of crime. You just attacked this lady, you stole her purse, tried to run off, and so he saw it happening. Now he can arrest you without a warrant. Or, yes, a crime. Not witness one of the essential elements of regulated activity violation. That has nothing to do with nothing. He doesn't even know how to recognize what activity is regulated. You get him in court on the stand and he's clueless. He doesn't know what's regulated. Why, all motor vehicles. But he doesn't know what a motor vehicle is. He doesn't realize that it has to do only exclusively with commerce. He's clueless. So sorry, say that again?
So you're saying our cops have been trained well?
Yeah, unfortunately, that's an issue that needs to be. We need some improved training for sure for our officers. It puts them in a bad space too. I mean, if you think about it, I'm sure there are some of them who are trying to do the right thing, and they've got bad training. They're working with a system where their bosses tell them to go out and do X, Y, Z when the law tells them they're not allowed to do that, and they go do it. And if you and I don't spank them for it, then they're going to continue to revert to that bad training.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, so there's no case. That's my main point. There's no case. You've got threatening looking paperwork, which in Texas is known as the crime of simulation of legal process. Simulation of legal process means you receive something written down and it looks like you're going to have to act in a certain way or refrain from acting in a certain way based on what's written in that document. And then, as you know, if they send that document to you in the mail, now they've looped in the U.S. Postal Service, and so it became a mail fraud, the Title 18, Section 1341. So they've just escalated and amplified their own wrongdoing by simulating legal process and having their fraud scheme carried out through the Postal Service. But like I said earlier, these are issues that you have to properly categorize. In your mind, you have to put that in its own little box. Deal with that separately. That will not get you off the hook when you're being accused of speeding. Instead, deal with the essential elements of the
due process,
the crime that you're accused of, or ideally, even better, highlight that there's no case and the court has nothing to adjudicate.
Well, these are wonderful tips that I bet not very many people think about before they get a traffic.
Yeah, who would want to? I told a judge one time, I said, look, I understand you guys are not following the law, and I understand it's embarrassing for me to walk in here and tell you things that your own attorneys and everybody didn't even know about. It's written in black and white. I get that it's embarrassing. I'm sorry about that. But honestly, it's your fault, because if you had known what it said, I wouldn't have had to invest any time looking into all this boring law stuff and then embarrassing all your people. He got kind of a chuckle out of that.
You brought it upon yourself.
You know, it's true that it's on us. Like you said earlier, it's on us. But I was telling him that day as if it's on him, because I had to bother myself reading all of his boring law stuff.
So what next? Any other tips?
Well, let's see. We talked about traffic stuff. We didn't really touch much on the code enforcement. A little bit about the fact that these guys are writing laws that are not laws. They're acting like they're laws, but they're really just enforcing an ordinance. And ordinances are not laws.
City council?
Yes. They go in their little mahogany room and they come up with some rules about how they want to get more money by doing this and this, and they only allow this kind of bush and only that kind of bush. And if you have an RV, then it shouldn't be visible from the street. They come up with all these rules. And then they attach dollars to those. Oh, if you violate this and that, then now we get to collect some of your money. These rules are not unconstitutional. And I think that's where people tend to get tripped up. We know in our gut, as soon as we hear this, or as soon as we see some little slip of paper on a door hanger, we say, oh, brother, that's not right. We know it's not right, but we tend to immediately categorize it as unconstitutional. And technically, it's not, It's just being applied in an unconstitutional way. They can write ordinances, and in fact,
It's
their
being
lawyers will.
misapplied.
Yes, it's
It's
being
not
applied
unconstitutional, but it's being misapplied,
exactly.
which becomes
Yes, in effect, yes. So they do have the authority through. We the people have given our legislatures the ability to authorize them to do certain things, like write certain ordinances. But then they turn around and misuse that and misapply that by acting like everybody under the sun must follow those rules, like you said about Taco Bell earlier. So our way that we handle that, it's a different kind of defense. Instead of saying there is no case when in a criminal case based on the fact that no authorized representative of a plaintiff came to the court with any primary pleadings, there's nothing. So instead of having that as a primary defense, when it's a code enforcement, code ordinance kind of a situation, then the main thing to be noticing and highlighting is that you are not one of the quote residents or the people to whom these ordinances apply. All of the laws apply to you, of course. These guys are not authorized to create law. They can't legislate from their little mahogany room. They just can't.
well. Look, what would you say to wrap this up? And I'm gonna give you the last word. What do you say?
That's great. Yeah, we can. This is a good place to draw the line, I think, for people to at least have bite size. Here are some things to think about, some things to prepare for, and ways to categorize our thoughts and feelings about when something happens to us. What do we do next? So I think that's a good starting point.
Peace.
Yes, and we can go into some more detail about the paperwork.
All right, so we're going to end it there because, anyway, let's check out something here. I don't know. All right, so I don't know how to get on his channel. I know they have a radio station here in Texas. It's been a while since I've been on it, so I don't remember what it was or how I came across it or anything like that. Like I said, Randy Kelton and him, Brett, and Eddie Craig, they kind of run together and they come up with all these things to challenge the people, challenge the persons that's coming after the people. All right, this is We the People News. Hope you enjoyed. Go back to the videos I told you during the beginning and check out some of the previous videos we talked about. Okay. 48 hours from now, roughly, give or take, go to the Justice Revolution. He's going to be live. So move over there and check him out as well. Okay. He does his own work, people. So he shows his documents, not all of them, but he shows and talks about what they do and all that kind of stuff. All right. This is We the People News. Bye, y'all.